Okay, I'm gonna get started in just a second here. I'm opening up my projects right now. Oh, don't need to see that. Okay, so I think I'll open SKRPG. Okay. So for those of you who haven't tuned in before, so basically what this is going to be is a, actually the title is very descriptive as for what this is. So the Q&A part is basically ask anything, and I'm going to be working on my project while I let you guys ask anything, and then I'll keep reading the comments, and yeah, just ask me anything, and I will answer it as soon as I see it. And yeah, otherwise, what I'm working on right now is actually something that's been a total pain for the past, actually since I've really started working on this. And I think I'm finally getting to the point where I have a solution for it. So what I've been working on is steering behaviors. And so I've had this problem where I actually made a system, which I regret doing. But basically the idea here is I need my enemy ships to go somewhere, right? So right now I have this system where this guy I can click somewhere and he'll go there, right? So I have this basic, kind of steering system, right? But it's very flawed. And so what I decided to do was I'm kind of going back to basics, and I'm looking at somebody else's example, and I'm stripping it down to basically to be to like adhere to my code standards, because I'm not very fond of the code. No offense to the creator. And two, because I want to get the very bare minimum of everything and get a perfect understanding of it and lay it out as a structure that can be reused, not only for my projects, but also for anybody else's projects that may want to use it. So, yeah, what you're going to see me doing here is just working on continuing to strip that down, and then I'm hopefully on the stream, I'll actually take that code out of that separate project here that I have here, and I'll throw it into my current project, which we were just looking at here. And I'll try to set it up to work for these enemy ships here, because it's kind of been it's been a very frustrating, admittedly, problem, and I kind of want to just get it out of the way so I can focus on the rest of the game here. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. So I need to actually remember where I previously was. So this person's project was set up here with just these four things moving around, but I added an arrive. Well, he had an arrive behavior, but I added the functionality to click somewhere to make one of these guys arrive there. So I've just been using it to test, will these guys actually move around each other? It's not the best system, but it's also not the worst system. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check out the code here. So I actually had what I was working on open in Rider, I think. It should really be set up, at least one of these, I think it was collision avoidance unit, this arrive at click unit. So I had a steer agent just being told to steer in a direction. So for the most part, I can kind of pull this out. I mean, this isn't pretty, it's camera.main call, but the rest of this should be fine. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the steer agent and make sure it's not ugly, because I'm really trying to avoid putting too much code inside of the project, just because a lot of this code is very unnecessary. So I'm just trying to avoid bringing over what doesn't really matter. I think for the most part the rest of this is fine to keep though. Oh. Arrive. The line path is not my favorite, especially since it could kind of just be a LinkedIn, or a linked list. LinkedIn. Too much social media. Remove node. This is never used, so I can just get rid of that. And this is never used either. Don't need that. Keep going to OBS instead of Unity. So assuming that this is still working, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and remove those from the repo. Remove unused functions from, what was that called again? Line path? Line path? Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me look at what I actually need to pull into my project. So I have, let's see. Here's my arrive at click unit. And this one has a follow path, collision avoidance, and a steer agent. So I think that's fine. I don't know if I actually need this movement AI rigid body. This one is, well, this is one I don't feel like I need. Also, orientation to vector. I think this is supposed to be direction, not orientation. But yeah, this is not my code, so I'm kind of determining if everything is good, and if it's not good, then to remove it, and so on. So, so yeah, we'll see. So I'm kind of going to do a lot of thinking here. Okay, so only the wall velocity is using rotation as vector, which does some orientation to vector call, which has 5 references, orientation to vector. What is this float? Is this actually, because orientation doesn't really mean anything. In reality, it's either a, what I'm guessing is rotation in radians. And I'm guessing it's an angle, right? Like an angle and Z rotation. This is not even be used.